swear. Come. Go. Let's find this guy from this place. You guys are me. This guy too, you in green. Why are you here? Hello, you. Why are you here? Because of you. Okay, you're excused. Security, carry this guy come up from my front. You can go to the back though. You can stay in front. The front is strictly for my normal die-hard brand boy part. Everyone that working with me. Everyone that understands what the fuck I do this for. Everyone that sees my sorrow, my sweat, my blood, my tears. That I put into this music, that help for others. I do this shit for you from the bottom of my heart. I don't come here to play. So if you want to come and do a fashion show, you want to stand and look at me, go to the fucking church. You understand? So my brother, please, I know your face is not encouraging me.
Zero peso, man. Me, I know. I do for. I can see me come out of my fast.
Hello, welcome back to another video. My name is King. I'm an alien. I'm here again to talk about stuff that bothers me. Before we get started, I want to let you know the essentials I came with. Again, I came with another pack of Skittles. This time it's unopened, and I have my jug here. So this jug is so special to me because it keeps the water really cold, and I don't have to worry about spillage unlike the sachet water I brought last time. So I'll be taking sips as the video goes along here. I also have my journal with something I wrote down and I scribbled out to the video because I'm using my phone for filming and I cannot pull up screenshots. So Burna Boy is a very interesting person, being that he's from Nigeria and he has, what we call, made it onto the global stage. He even won a Grammy as a Nigerian. That is the dream of, I think that's been the dream for the longest time. I remember growing up and I listened to lyrics from artists like Nice, where I will bring this Grammy, something like, I know, don't be mistake track here. I went to face one, I think MTV Awards here, in the early 2000s. Yeah, it was a big deal for me because I'm totally that, I had aspirations to be, or I still have aspirations to be an artist and all of that. So growing up here with desire to be an artist in this country, yeah, obviously I was discouraged, yeah, because it didn't seem like Nigerian music was going to be recognized. Even within Nigeria, in the period where I grew up, it was like a very disgraceful thing to decide to be an artist. Yeah, you couldn't just wake up one day and say you wanted to be a musician. Your parents would be like, "Oh, why don't you be a professional, whatever first? Then you follow music when you are independent." And that's what I thought I would do, but it didn't work out. But that's just a tangent. My point is, Burna Boy is an example of so many people's dreams come true. But the truth is that calling it a dream just keeps it in this fantasy land, and there's no real interaction with the nuances and complexities of existing as a black person in a system that is set up to only push and make successes out of people with different skin color. The white people that call themselves white, or white is simply a construct. There's no such thing as a white person or a black person. Yeah. But anyways, that's how the stage is set for artists all over the world. Yeah, that's the first thing I want to say. Okay, so the second thing I want to say about Burna Boy is that the reality of Burna Boy is that, from listening to some interviews he did as he started getting more and more into the spotlight. Yeah, I think he got into like major recognition with that track, yeah. And I think another thing that factored into his recognition was the fact that, yeah, it's the same thing, was the name that Kanye West was going by at the time. So people kind of clicked on the song on Spotify and they found the gem. So I wouldn't say that's all the reason for it, but I would say it contributed a lot. And yeah, was this song that was a song that had a signature from one of our greatest Afrobeat legends. And I mean Afrobeat not in Spotify sense or the Western media sense. I mean Afrobeat as a literal genre of Nigerian music, because we have different genres of music made in this country. Yeah? So Afrobeat was unique. It's a unique genre, and not everybody does Afrobeat in Nigeria. Yeah, so Afrobeat legend Fela Kuti, let me not butcher his name. So Fela was a legend. He's still a legend. So what I'm saying about Burna Boy, he made Ye like a signatory of Fela's style of music, and it was so beautiful. Like everybody was touched. But that was not Burna Boy's origin. Okay, Burna Boy started way back in the 2010s, and I wouldn't say how I knew him then was this song Party, yeah. When I was and I would know it, I knew it because back then I was also this religious fanatic, yeah, and I felt like all secular music was like devil props and all of that. But like I listened to secular music with so much guilty pleasure that I can never forget those songs. Like now that I'm free of religion and clutches, yeah, I usually download those songs if I remember them and I listen to them guilt free, and I have fun and I'm free. Like, but my point is like I listen to Party with a kind of guilty pleasure. This song that he sang, like, oh, the boys they party, something. So, like, then he was just known among a select group of listeners, Nigerians. Yeah, he wasn't like Davido, he wasn't like Whiskey, he wasn't popping, it was played in clubs, but it wasn't mainstream Nigerian music. Yeah, it wasn't Olamide style. It wasn't Davido. It wasn't Whiskey. Those are the big three, in my opinion. Yeah, and it's not just my opinion; it's a fact. I agree with your brothers. So from that moment, yeah, and for me to now like see him, how many years later, blowing up, I felt like it felt like seeing somebody that you support, do well, and it's like it was validating, it was nice. I felt like, oh, so it does happen. Like people do find success as Nigerian singers, and to this extent of global recognition and global interest and all of that. So all of that to say that finding success as a black person, it's not just this thing where you just be like, okay, I'm successful now, and so I just continue the way I've always been. No. You now have to start grappling with the tensions of what success actually means to you in your black self, in your black person, and that's where we go to Burna Boy's display of self-hatred. I think I just tasted mango flavored Skittles. Wow. Okay, this is awesome. Now, when people talk about the price of fame, yeah, um, it's so dramatized, yeah, by popular media, especially in Nigeria, that it means, oh, the devil is going to come and steal your soul. It means demons are going to haunt you down in your sleep, except to give your life to Christ. Then sometimes it just shows like you just see somebody like experience a deterioration of their character and their personality because they don't know what to do with so much wealth, so much access and privilege. And using Burna Boy as a case study, Burna Boy has been showing signs of hating himself. I think these are my opinions. I don't know anything about this man, but from the interviews or public appearances he has been in and spoken out, he has had when he has had a chance to like speak up or about anything, he has displayed a kind of disgust for his Nigerian-ness. I think he feels shame being a Nigerian. I feel he feels shame being associated with Nigeria. And hear me out. As a Nigerian, I understand it. Nigeria is not a country that somebody carries with pride, as even as a Nigerian. But hear me out here. No country is to their people. Ask anybody from any country in the world, and they will definitely have reasons why they feel so much shame thinking about being a citizen of their country, considering their history, considering what the type of atrocities their countrymen had, their ancestors have perpetrated in the past. And I'm talking about this is mostly like European and American centric kind of citizens, yeah, which is interesting because I feel like Burna Boy is displaying a kind of aspiration to whiteness, like he wants to be assimilated into the whiteness of the industry existing. Before I go too far talking about it, I don't have the videos, but there are so many times in the past where Burna Boy has denounced Nigeria. So when Nigerians have called upon him to speak on something and he just like blatantly insults them on the way he insults Nigerians that are his fans actually. It feels very personal. It feels like it's coming from a very deep place. There's one interview he had when he first blew up with Ye, and in that interview, I think it was Vice Media or that was interviewing him, and I'm not sure if it's Vice, please don't quote me, but they went to his house and his parents were in front of the cameras and the interviewers were there, all like white men or white workers, white journalists, I mean. And after speaking for a while and answering questions, they now started to like talk to his parents now, as one does, because his parents were present. His mother and his father, literally. I was like, are these his parents? Are you sure they're his parents? And Burna Boy proceeds to dismiss them in a very disrespectful manner. Yeah, when they are busy talking, like when his father is in the middle of expostulating about his history with and his love for Fela and Afrobeat, and which is where a lot of Nigerians get their like Nigerians my age, yeah, millennials. Yeah, that's where we get our love for or our knowledge of Fela from our parents, yeah, because they're very much alive in this time and they saw what Fela did in the country using his music. Fela was a radical, yeah. Fela was not the perfect man, as all most African male human rights movement are. They have like sexist and misogynistic philosophies, but still, you know, they spoke against the government, especially Fela and his family. They spoke against the government. And in Nigeria at that time, as an artist, like, who the hell are you to be insulting your president? Because we were, I think we were under military rule then, you know, and a lot of like people like Burna Boy's parents, like my parents here, they were like all this like, you know, the youth at the period, and they were like so, I think, inspired by his music, and they were inspired by the way they were visible. Like this man was visibly, you know, being persecuted by the government, and he did not care. Okay, Fela is from a rich family as well, but still, he went the line of being a radical, you know, activist. Yeah, he was radical. He was not afraid of death. You know, he sang what he sang. Like if you go through Fela's discography, man, like you see gems there. So he Burna Boy's father was like trying to like, you could see the nostalgia in his face, and I feel like the kind of appreciation that his son, you know, is being recognized for. His son was being recognized for such representation. And the next thing you know, Burna Boy is like I don't want to quote him, but exactly because I don't remember. It was something that's like shut up, you know, shut up, you don't do a beg. Like it was so rude, and the journalists there were so uncomfortable. They didn't know what to do. Parents too were like, it was the most awkward thing, but the camera did not stop rolling. I think you can still find it, which is ironic now that when all of this mess is going on, yeah, he brings his dad on stage. Like, guy, we know you don't fucking care about your dad. Like you treat your dad like trash, you treat your parents like trash. You don't care about them, you don't respect them, and that's fine. But like, why pretend? But before we get to present day, this blatant disrespect in front of like and I think he did that to kind of, you know, this kind of, oh mom, you're embarrassing me, that kind of thing we see in Disney Channel movies, like all the time. I think it was just like a grown man expressing that kind of behavior. You know, it was not cute, it was uncalled for, it was rude, you know, it was unnecessary. Like you could have done that like after they had left or something. You'd have politely interjected that, oh, they have to go, you know, anyways. But he did not. He wanted to embarrass them, and I feel like maybe he resents his parents. Nobody has a perfect nobody can boast of perfect parents in this country, and I'm sure, and I don't know, I want to say his parents were kind of resistant to his music dreams, but that would be a lie, I think, because his parents were music heads. Yeah, his mom and dad, I think his mom even danced for Fela, which is like legend status. Fela had oh god, if I go into Fela, this video will not be too long. But his parents are music heads, so I don't think he experienced any form of like resistance, like typical Nigerian parent resistance to his musical aspirations. So when that first album blew up, like not his first album, but like when the album, you know, that had Ye, you know, blew up, you know, it was just like everybody was like, yes, Nigeria on the global stage, Nigeria on the global stage. Even though we've been on the global stage several times here, but it was just like different with Burna Boy because he was very African, Afrocentric, yeah, and using Fela as his identity, kind of not identity, but kind of like his signature, you know, style, and the beat he used and the way he produced his music, all of it was so very Afrocentric. You know, there was nothing Americanized or westernized in his production. It was very Nigerian style of music, basically. Burna Boy is a complex, you know, person. He's a complex human being, you know, but And that complexity is what, is where we see this behavior, this bad behavior come from. Okay, is where we see this present this ugly attitude come out from. Yeah. Why yo. Okay, so eyes like a thief in the night. That album is African Giant is so beautiful. Yeah, but shitty people can make beautiful things. That's how wonderful being a human being is. And I think black people should be allowed to be shitty people. Blackness should not be associated with this myth of being perfect, subservient, but he has an ugly attitude that should be called out. And just calling out for us to know that being a human being is complex. You can call out nonsense, yeah, while also expecting them to change. Raccoonish Nigerians like to postulate this idea that if a Nigerian is given a chance to be on a global stage in front of the white men, and that they should be on their best behavior, they should not step out of line. And I don't even know, maybe that's where Burna Boy is bad attitude. You can say some of it is coming from, but no, Burna Boy has an origin, okay? And this behavior did not just start on the global stage. It started from Nigeria. So I think in 2019 was that where the one I saw like this week was 2019. I think everybody has seen that tweet here. He was on stage performing and he saw a guy not dancing, kind of maybe just standing still and watching him. And the guy was in front row and he stopped the music, stopped the band. He was like, hey, you, like, went to the person on top of the stage and he was like, take your money, get out of there. Like, what? 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 Why? Who does that? Yeah, and if you watch the video, like if you see the video, you've seen the video, you can hear other concert goers there screaming, like hailing him, like yeah, boss man, and it's like, no, no, that is stemming from a place of elitism, a place of classism, that is very unique in Nigeria. Yeah, there's classism all over the world, but Nigerian style of classism is very unique in the sense that we hear things being put out like phrases, like proverbs that people live by, like philosophies that Nigerians live by. Is that when I get money, nobody will tell me anything, and it's like it's supposed to engender this motivating feeling to seek what freedom from the burden of capitalism and monopoly that you know um affect our lives, affect the quality of our lives, that make us live in this hell of like year in year out of no change, just corrupt officials coming in and stealing the government, stealing the people's resources without any form of retribution, without any form of consequences, and it's just like what the survivalist mentality, what the survivalist processing of such behavior for years and conditioning for decades, for generations, have have translated into is like, okay, as long as I get into this position of power, I can do anything I want and get away with it. Not, oh, we need to get this crap out of here. We need to revolt and throw these people out of power. No, it is now when I get into power, I'm going to do any fucking thing I want to do to anybody. And it's not like I'm going to do any fucking thing I want to do as per just neutral things like getting your own place, getting your own being wealthy in excess and all of that. Is like I want to make other people's lives harder. The first sign of being a wealthy person in this country, the first sign that you know you've made it is when you can, put your foot on another person's neck. Especially the person has to be struggling. Not your fellow wealthy man, or you can put your foot on a poor person's neck. That is just the motivator of most people's desire to make it in Nigeria. And so, Burna Boy that actually has been in the industry for a while and did not make it, and now he's making it in such a like explosive manner. Yeah, he displayed that same mentality by asking this concert goer that paid to be there to leave the concert, which is so stupid. It has no basis in reality. It is very illogical. You are a performer. All you had to do was just come on this prepared stage for you with prepared crowds for you to just sing. Okay, for you to just sing. and perform and entertain. You are an entertainer at the end of the day. Okay. And I think there's one thing that is very lost in the sauce nowadays, especially amongst Nigerian entertainers. Um, the history of being an entertainer here, I think worldwide, like world history, entertainers were not really like put on pedestals of respectability. Okay, we had what you called court jesters. We had what you called king clown, like clowns that performed for the king. They're just clowns. And then of course we had women that sang, and we had bards, and we had, just performers, entertainers, yeah. And they just survived on their patrons' enjoyment of their performance, yeah. They survived on their patrons' enjoyment of their performance. That was all they had going for them. And if their patron did not enjoy them, sometimes the king, he would be like, what, off with his head, off with his head, So basically, is I think it's also where that thing comes from, like being in the service, it translates into being in the service industry. As an entertainer, you are in the service industry, okay? You are of service to people, okay? And most of the time, service is the kind of thing that usually cannot be quantified or processed into monetary limitations, but we do try our damnness because we live in a capitalist society, yeah. And people are being paid to be entertainers. There's now this hierarchy of service workers. When I said service workers now, I'm sure most people just thought waiters, waitresses, people that do housekeeping, people that do cleaning, people that chefs, when you go to a restaurant, cooks, mama, yeah, this, yeah, that, the bar, like we have one bar in our area, like we call the name of the bar, like the women and the men that serve, all those kind of things here. And then we now move up the ladder to what they call host ushers in our country. Those ones too are service workers. They have sex workers here, and at the top of the hierarchy, I think, are these people that are classed as celebrities, entertainers. Yeah, that thing happened in 2019. There were mixed reactions. Obviously, people were like, "Oh, this is me." I was like on the side of this is weird, this is wrong, But his fans like were very loud about it. That, why will you do this? People, and mostly Nigerians just took it as a joke. Say this guy is just being crazy. Like it's just like a crazy thing, a crazy day, crazy event, a crazy concert, and like that's the thing about bad behavior. We mimify it, we make it into jokes, and I think that is something that should stop. If Nigeria is to experience any real change, we should not make into memes bad behavior, because it escalates. Bad behavior always escalates if it doesn't face like consequences. Yeah. For example, look at Wiki. I'm not going to talk about Wiki today, please. So, in this present day, Burna Boy did this thing again, this behavior, and he did it on an international stage. Now, he did it in Nigeria, and he was not cancelled by Nigerians. Okay, I think there are a few voices that called him out, but nothing really affected because everybody still wanted to see Burna Boy. Everybody still wanted to be associated with him and his status and his wealth and all that good stuff. I guess it's not good. Like, just the situation was that there was a man with his partner there, and she was asleep in his concert, and they were like front row, and he stopped the performance midway, and he was like, hey, you wake up, so we should leave, like I won't perform until you both leave. Like that was excessive. In fact, he even said, I won't perform until you both leave. It's like so extreme. That is insane. That's insane. Like, what level of hubris are you sitting on for you to be able to express such like behavior without fear? Yeah, just because somebody came to your bloody concert. No, 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 no. And TikTok era, this era we're in, nobody was having it. Okay, the internet was not having it, and they began to like voice their opinion. And when I mean they, Nigerians, were like, no way, this has gone on for too long. What sort of artist do you think you're like? What level of artistry do you think you've gotten to be able to throw somebody out of your concert for sleeping? For sleeping, like somebody is sleeping during your concert, I feel like it is on you. That's a tell on your performance that day. Yeah, you should internalize it. You should internalize it, or you deal with it somehow. But you don't take it out on the person that is sleeping at your concert. That person paid good money. That person worked hard, took out of their income to come and have fun. Eventually she came out to say, she had some issues and very extreme issues, and she was just tired, she was just drained. And sometimes when we book tickets for concert before, like, months before the event happens, and life happens. Life always happens at every turn. You wake up in the morning and your whole life has changed. And instead of like letting the ticket go to waste, she came to be at the concert, because she definitely must have felt some sort of support for you enough to be like, no, I don't want to leave my seat empty. I want to show up for Burna Boy. I want to be here and enjoy Burna Boy's music. I want to be a part of this whole album, whatever it is you release this period. Enjoyment. I want to be here. I want to feel the vibes. I want to have fun at this concert. And she showed up with her partner. She was there, but unfortunately she fell asleep. Her body could not take it. She fell asleep. She's a human being. Yeah, she could not take it. And then you woke her up, not to ask, how are you? Not to ask, are you okay? Not to inquire about any aspect of her well-being. Not even to ask her partner that, why will you even stress this woman and bring her here? That kind of thing. Nothing. Just your ego, your hubris, your own like ugly sense of entitlement to your fans worship. I feel like the way he behaved, it stems from this feeling of seeing his fans not as actual human beings, but as sniveling worshippers at the shrine of his artistry, at the shrine of his African giantness. Like, it just like feels so very, very sinister. Yeah, to see the way he treated them in that moment, it was so sinister. And I feel so glad that they were not letting him get away with it, as we Nigerians did in the past when they did it to somebody in the country. Yeah, they're not letting him get away with it, and they've been calling it out left, right for days now. At first he ignored, because that is what he does. He pretends he does not see. Then he was now asked, on a video, like a random, someone was just recording something, and they're like asking him about it, and then he says, I don't need broke fans.
Zero peso, man. Me, I know. I tell you, say, make my fans. Choose.
It's like, do you know the concept of what being a broke fan means? If your fans are broke, Baba, you don't have work. You are not going to get that your money in your bank account that's making your head bigger than the entire continent. Like, that is just a fact. You don't have broke fans. Your fans cannot be broke. There's no such thing as a broke fan. As long as you have a fan, they are not broke. Number one, it's not only money that fans contribute to you. Attention is a whole, like, we live in an attention economy. We live in an economy that runs on attention. So now, even more than money, yeah, attention is much valued, and they are giving it to you. So there is no fucking way that they are broke. But because you are a Nigerian who grew up in this whole system of survivalist philosophy, this system where it's like, don't take care of anybody else, try to survive, and when you survive and you make it out of your situation, like when you get to the class of elites, the billionaires class, then you can now stomp on other people's head, and that is the only way your wealth to make sense. Yeah. And it's like, that is why you spout such nonsense. You say this like, my broke fans. Are you even, like, it's so illogical, it doesn't make any sense. Nobody can be a broke fan. As long as you have a fan, they are not broke. Attention, just conversations about you, that is why you still exist as an entertainer. That is where, like, no matter how much you think your music is good, no matter how much you think your music is great, like, people can't live without it. They make a choice, to make you a part of their lives. That kind of thing, you can't buy it with money. You can't buy it with your artistry. You can't buy it with talent. Nothing can buy somebody's decision to include you in their lives. Okay, so now, because I don't have screenshots, I wrote down the apology. So I'm going to go through this apology step by step. Out the statement on his story, yeah, and I'm going to read through that statement. I'm going to like process the nonsense that he was saying. So he put out this statement, first of all, in his story. I understand the agenda against me and I came to terms with it a long time ago. So my skin is bulletproof at this point. Bulletproof. Um the agenda you're talking about, that's not what is at play here. Don't play dumb. Second, let's continue. I wasn't going to address this, but dot dot dot. If you make, somebody said that Nigerians are very bad at making analogies, and they are right. They are very, very right. Nigerians do not know how to. Most Nigerians here, it's very difficult for them to make analogies. I think it's just because of the way our education system was is set up. Yeah. Um which is also not a fault of ours, but still, we just have to acknowledge that, yeah, Nigerians are really bad at making analogies. But here comes the first analogy he gives. If you make the pilot uncomfortable in a plane you bought a ticket for, will you enter a plane for free before? You will be deported or arrested as soon as you land. Now, let's get one thing clear. In this analogy, Burna Boy, you are the pilot, okay? And you say, in a plane, you bought a ticket for. So in a plane here, assuming that your concert is the flight experience, yeah, fine. And ticket is the same, like a concert goer buys a ticket to your flight or whatever. Then the last part of the analogy, you will be deported or arrested as soon as you land. Now, you were in the middle of a flight and you ejected a passenger out of the plane before they got it, before you landed. That's literally what you did. You ejected a passenger out of the plane before you landed. So at the end of the day, your analogy does not apply here. You are the pilot, you are comfortable that somebody was sleeping in your flight, and then you said it's making you uncomfortable, you deport them. And it's not like you waited to land. You could have done it in such a much more sinister way, yeah, where you would have just, gotten their details, through the event organizers, and then blacklisted them from ever attending your concert. None would be the wiser about what you did. The person just realize that they can't attend your concert, they can't get tickets to your concert, and that would be a whole different situation. But still, your analogy does not apply, because this person, you ejected them out of the plane mid-flight. That's insane. That's literally insane. Nobody does that. So that analogy is wrong. We kick it out. It does not make any sense. All right. Second analogy. You pay school fees, but you'll be kicked out of class if you make it uncomfortable for the teacher to do his job. You'll be kicked out of the class. You won't be kicked out of the school. That's another aspect of the analogy. See, Nigerians, like, we need to like really invest in critical thinking. Like, we need to study more, we need to read up more text, like more non-fiction. Like, the child will be kicked out of the class, or okay, fine, the student will be kicked out of the class if he makes this one teacher uncomfortable, right? You are sleeping in the class and the teacher can say, oh yeah, go outside and stand in the hallway. That makes sense. Is the teacher going to now take you to the school board and demand your expulsion? No, that's what you did to this person. You kicked them out of the concert. Okay, you've expelled this person from school because they made you uncomfortable as a teacher one time in your class. And is that the only class you're going to ever have with this student? No. Eventually, as a teacher, the school is going to have to ask you to learn how to handle your student. You can't keep kicking out one student all the time you come to class because you've had one history of the child being a nuisance in your class. Yeah, let's just imagine they're being a nuisance. The school is going to ask you to learn or to up your teaching game, to up your teaching skills, to be able to handle the students that are paying you for your service. Mr. Man, Burna Boy, you are providing a service. So if it is a regular thing for you to kick people out of your concert, man, you're not a good service provider. People need to change to another service provider. That's just what it says of you now. Yeah, you are not a great service provider. You need to pack it up, man. Hang it up flat screen. So those two analogies, kick them out of this statement. It does not apply, man. It is illogical. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, let's assume that we can use the pilot and teacher analogy for you. It still does not apply. You ejected somebody mid-flight. You didn't allow the plane to land, so that person is in danger, and the other passengers are going to be now uncomfortable because of Mr. Pilot. Now let's get to the most egregious, that has pronounced out egregious, the most egregious part of this statement, which is not an apology, by the way. My shows have people who have beaten cancer or something very serious, etc. That etc. is just like when you're writing your essays and you don't know what else to put, and you just like put etc. etc. so that your teacher said, or your lecturer is like, okay, fine, you have more ideas. Like, bro, you know, there's no other analog, there's no other example here. My shows have people who are beating cancer or overcame something serious. Like, of course, your shows will have people like that. People who have beaten cancer attend concerts. Yeah, people that are even like struggling with cancer, if they can, they do attend concert, they do participate in society. Yeah, none of them have ever slept long. Guy, the issue is not about them sleeping, because you have chased a concert goer out of your concert for just standing and not dancing. Like, it was a whole thing then that people were just like, ah, if I go Burna Boy's concert, me I go dance. All kind of like, it was just like your thing. You just chased him out because he was not dancing. He said he was not dancing. You didn't even say go to the back. He said leave the concert. Like, you embarrassed that person. So it's not about sleeping, bro. Okay, it's not about sleeping. And somebody who has overcome cancer, you know, somebody who has beaten cancer, yeah, and somebody else that is actively struggling with a serious issue in their life right now, that forces them to just, you know, forces their body to just be exhausted at the sleep at a concert, are not the same people. They are not the same kind of people. Okay, it doesn't apply once again. He goes on to say, I leave my soul on every stage I get on, even if it's only 10 people in attendance. Like, as if 10 people in attendance don't deserve, like, normally for you to leave your soul. They are paying for you, like, they are paying for you to be there. Okay, and then this idea of leaving my soul, oh yeah, are you the only one leaving your soul in this performance? Your backup singers, the people that do the difficult manual labor of setting up concert halls, the people that do the difficult manual labor of preparing everything that is necessary for your concert to go well without a hitch. Okay, those people that are probably on your label's payroll, yeah, they are also doing their best. Okay, this concert had no issues. As far as I saw, it had no issues. You became the issue. Weeks, months of planning, of orchestrating a perfect scenario where you can just come perform and go. You rendered it all to waste with just your hubris. Just like, I leave my soul on every stage. Baba, that is what you are being paid for. And also, the whole idea of telling a concert goer that I'll refund you, that is not where your money is. Like, you are being paid in millions, okay, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars in Nigerian currency, millions of naira. Okay, the kind of wealth that one concert goer might not ever see in their lifetime. These people come, sacrifice valuable time, sacrifice valuable attention, and plus their money to come to your show, which cannot be refunded to them with your pouch. No matter if you give them the concert, that is not the amount it takes for somebody to attend the concert. The transport fare, the travel fare, okay, the accommodation, the food, okay, the dress, the whole preparation it will take to attend one concert. Yeah, just pay them back the ticket cannot cover all of the cost of attending your concert. So it does not even apply. And let me tell you something, when a fan attends any artist show, they are also putting their souls, they are bearing their souls to this one person, to you. That they are bearing their soul, and they are showing it in tangible ways, like buying your concert tickets and showing up for the concert. You are coming here to bear your soul for the performance. Of course you're going to bear your soul. And then he goes on to say, and I will gladly be cancelled if we are now in a world. Yeah, this statement is so tiring to process. And I will gladly be cancelled if we are now in a world where you can treat me like a stripper. Why? Why dissolve to sexism? Strippers are sex workers, they are service workers. You are not different from a stripper. That's the other thing that that's why I started with the whole idea of service workers. Sex workers are doing a service, they are performing a service, same as you, Mr. Entertainer, Mr. Burna Boy. Slap my ass and tell me to keep dancing because you throw $100 at me, bro. And of course, obviously, on the outside of it, it is very degrading for women. Okay, and I don't believe doing sex work is some kind of feminist movement. You know, I'm all for women living in a world where no matter how poor they are, they don't have to survive on the sexual excesses of a man. You know, that is why the sex industry exists, because men want to be able to perform their sexual excesses on, okay, whether that is a woman, a trans woman, or you know, yeah. So I'm not all for that, but at the end of the day, it's a job, you understand. And when you do that to the stripper, when you do that to the sex worker, you slap her ass and you throw $100 at her. So in your mind, you are degrading this woman for nothing. It's degrading to you. When you think about it, it's a form of degradation of this woman. Yeah, even though she's performing you a service, you know that you can enjoy a service without you slapping her ass, but you slap her ass and you throw $100 at her. That's the reality of sex workers. Yeah. You feel like, and when you use it in comparison with your situation, you're now trying to say that they deserve to be treated that way. You are normalizing the degradation of sex workers just because they are sex workers, and you are now putting yourself on this pedestal that no, what you do is not sex work. But you are performing a service, and you are going to dance as a jester as long as these people are paying you. That's literally what you are doing as an artist. That's the harsh reality. That's the harsh reality. And if you feel like people expecting you to perform the service that you promised them is making you feel so low in your like self-esteem, then stop doing it. Stop having concerts and find another way to make money. But you won't do that. You don't want to find another way to make money. You like this way of making money, but you don't want to do the work. So at the end of the day, that whole idea that a lot of Nigerians like have this fantasy that, oh, if you are a big time artist, you don't need to you don't need to stress again. It's like, well, you will stress more than ever, because the emotional and the mental labor that goes into performing a service, I don't think it can be quantified. And it's not just performing a service, you have to perform a service that people like enough to pay you, so that you can pay your bills, so that you can keep living the kind of lifestyle you want. But Burna Boy does not want that. He doesn't want to do that anymore. If you don't want to do concert anymore, then stop having concerts. Release your albums and find another way to live the life that is on that income means, that is according to that income. So for me personally, this statement is rubbish. It's not it. It doesn't make any sense. There's no basis in reality. It is so long, but I'm close to the end now. So there's this statement that this was in response to the whole "I don't need broke fans" video that he made here. He said, by the way, I was joking around with my band about something else, not necessarily this situation, and y'all have spun it as y'all, saying, who is y'all in the first place? Who is y'all? You mean the people that actually care about you enough to be angry? Yeah. Do you know what indifference is? Indifference is not caring, not buying tickets, not coming to concerts. For people to even express anger to you, it means that they care on some level. Okay, they want to still enjoy your music without feeling like fools, without feeling like cash cows. And so they express anger. And you're now saying y'all, these are your fans. Who is y'all? As usual, saying Burna Boy doesn't love his fans. Guy, you know it. For you to even hear it, that means you know it. Yeah. What have you done ever since you came into this awareness of this saying that Burna Boy doesn't love his fans to disprove the saying? Nothing. You've not stepped out. You've not been in any way. Yeah. You've not in any way made your fans feel special. And I think that is intentional, because you don't like your fan base. You want to assimilate into, I feel this is just my opinion, I feel like Burna Boy wants to assimilate into a whiteness that allows him to have white people in his concert seats, like white people, the whole construct of white people at his concert. And it's like, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. They will steal your style, they will steal your flow, but they don't want you as a person in their space. So stop aspiring to, no, I won't tell you stop aspiring to whiteness. Keep on, it's your business. Like, it's your issues, you can deal with it. I don't care. I'm just telling you that the kind of audience you are looking forward to, that you don't have to see Nigerians, where you don't have to see now, it's, you know, we are no longer on Nigerian stage now, you're now in the big C's, and you are on stages like in Houston, Dallas, American states, and you are still irritated because you are seeing them as a representation of your own internalized racial hatred. My dear, white people have set up a system for you to believe that you're hating yourself, that is being expressed as hatred of people that look like you. You think it is all like coming from inside. If the inside is coming from, has been conditioned by this white supremacist value system. I think it also ties in with that issue that Tyler the Creator had, you know, where he successfully created a white audience. Like, he aspired and assimilated into whiteness by what? Completely butchering his identity, completely, you know, isolating his black fan base, like that kind of thing. Yeah, it's not like there are no black people listening to Tyler the Creator, yeah, but like it ties into this whole white assimilation. You feel like you've not become a success until white people fill up the seats at your concert, guy. That only means, you know, you end up being like a clown for them. That artistry, that authenticity you want to show them, to show that, to prove that you are valued, that you deserve to be, you know, seen as one of their equals. It's just going to end up you being a clown for them, a minstrel show. That's just what it's going to be. That's just what it's going to be. And then when they laugh, they're laughing at you, they're not laughing with you. And I don't know, a lot of wonderful creators like Lannis Lens, King of Reeds, have made videos about, you know, black Americans. Yeah, they've made videos about this whole Tyler the Creator situation. And I feel like Burna Boy, like, this is also the same thing as like that is going on with Burna Boy. Yeah? But the only thing is, like, Burna Boy is an African man, and he probably did not have spaces to join communities where Tyler the Creator joined, like all these neo-Nazis communities, all these white nationalist communities. Like, we're in Africa, where you go see them? That's another thing again. Where you go see them? Yeah. So, but the nationalistic, you know, conservative kind of self that causes self-hatred within black people, you know, still reached across the continent to you, Burna Boy. Still reaches across so many Nigerians in this country. They have so much self-hatred. Okay, this week I have been, my timeline has been flooded with videos like with Nigerians saying cool shit about a Nigerian man being in the UK and eating amala and ewedu on the bridge. Like, they be like, one fool called Alabi said, this is why he sides with the white supremacy sometimes. Like, guy, do you know what the fuck you're talking about? Like, you are actually insane for saying that. Like as a Nigerian, but I don't want to go too far. Let's just focus on, but I'm just saying that it ties in with this Tyler the Creator behavior. You know, Doja Cat's behavior, where she hates, like, there was a time where they like she hates her fan. Now Tyler the Creator is like, he hates his fan, hates the fan that he cultivated. You know, Burna Boy has not successfully cultivated the kind of fan he's aspiring to. I don't think his background as an African allow him ever reach that pinnacle of cultivation and assimilation, you know. And I don't know if he has realized it yet, you know, because with the way people are responding by not buying, they're not showing up to his concerts here as much as they do. Maybe it might change. Maybe people have short term memory, maybe they'll forget here. He's going to be like down in the dumps before he ever gets to that point. Like, he's going to be down in the dumps before he gets to that point. Now go on to say, if you hate me so much, either kill me or leave me alone. Where that one come from now? What are you talking about? Nigerians have never had the ability to cancel you successfully. The people that cancel you are people that you literally pander to. Like, you dropped all of your Afrobeats, Fela Kuti aesthetic, because it was simply an aesthetic to you. You dropped all of it to assimilate into Black American culture. And you've assimilated there and you're still showing this bad behavior there, because at the end of the day, it's not about even the Black Americans, because they look like you. They are not white. They're not white. And so now you are frustrated with them. You are still expressing this shitty behavior with them. You understand? Like, you have to see the way your patterns of behavior are recurring so that you can change it. It's a pattern of behavior and it's coming from somewhere, and I think it's coming from your desire to assimilate into whiteness, because you live in a society that has told you that you will not be as valued as some mediocre white artist that is copying your brand word for word. And that is not on you. That is something that you need to actually unlearn. You need to unlearn. What will we tell that one to this man now? I'm sure he has surrounded himself with yes men. Let me continue before the video takes forever. I'm fighting my own battles and I never come out here to look for pity or help. Pity, help? How would you say you're like, who was thinking of giving you pity before? I don't think anybody has ever pitied you in the history of your performance and your making it onto the big stage. Nobody has ever pitied you, and you've never ever seen your fan support of you as help. You've seen it as your right. So why did you come out saying I'm not looking for pity or help? Who has ever offered you pity or help before that you've even accepted? Like, nobody pities you, Burna Boy. Nobody ever pitied you, guy. You literally bought, is it Tesla or Lamborghini, and you parked it outside the club in Nigeria to walk on the dirty road because it will spoil your car. That's the kind of person you are. You bought a Ferrari and you had tons of men come around to salivate over your car. That's the kind of person you are. You're not driving Ferrari on this Nigerian road. You know damn well you can't do that. Your car is going to it's going to fall apart. Once you just reach one bump like that in express, like, that's the end of the car. And no fucking mechanic has the spare parts to repair it. So, like, that's the kind of person you are. You care more about flaunting your wealth. You care more about showing other Nigerians that you are better off than them. So I don't think anybody has ever, like, sent pity your way. As far as I've seen, the you're addressing, I love who loves me and respect who respects me. You don't love people that love you, and you've never respected people that respect you from day one. Like, you've never had to stop lying. And then he now finally concludes with free Sudan, free Congo, free Nigeria. Free Sudan from what? What issue in Sudan are you saying they should be freed from? Break it down for me. It's so egregious, it's so sinister, it's so insidious. Do you know what the people of Sudan are going through right now? Do you have any idea? And I don't know, maybe you might have an idea because you probably watch CNN. But you've never once spoken up for anything, stood for anything in your career. So, mentioning Sudan, free Congo, I'm sure you have the latest iPhone 17. What are you freeing Congo from? What can we do? What can your fans do to free Congo? They're spending all their money on your concert. What are they going to do to free Congo? You with all your resources buying a Ferrari just to flaunt. What is that going to, like, what is this fucking statement going to do? How is it going to be a challenge to the people to the labels, to the markets that buys your music, that promotes you? Free Nigeria from what? So God, this man, maybe you should be a comedian. Free Nigeria from what? What exactly? When you were on the latest happy birthday to ST, free Nigeria from what exactly, Burna Boy? It's so egregious, like, it's so I sincerely apologize if I'm wrong. I'm not always right, but I feel right about this. It should have just stopped at I sincerely apologize. When you say I sincerely apologize if I'm wrong, you've already taken away the work of the apology here. That is not an apology. If you cannot see that you are wrong, then your apology means nothing. Apologies only make sense when there is an acceptance on your part of the wrong you have committed. But if you are still on the fence about being wrong, then shut the fuck up. I'm not always right, but I feel right about. Again, I'm not always right. If you had stopped there, I sincerely apologize. I'm not always right. Anyways, I'm just human. That would have been fine. But he says, anyways, I'm just human. So fuck me. Guys, go and cry. Go and throw a pity party for yourself out of sight of people, please. Go and pity yourself somewhere in the privacy of your home where your yes men are licking your ass. Like, leave that out of, like, get away from this place. Like, what does that even mean? Anyways, I'm human. So for guys, come on for here. Like, at your age, yeah, you should have sense by now. If you don't want to apologize, you don't apologize. You stand on business, but you cannot even stand on the nonsense attitude that you are displaying. You don't want to lose your bag. Same thing with TJ Omori. You want to be able to be a bully to your paying audience, yeah. But you are like, but you still like, it's so stupid because even this Burna Boy is homophobic. Okay, he's homophobic. There's one that I can compare two of them. He's homophobic as well. That line he says in what song is that? I know be one of those men where they fear blah blah blah, fuck blah blah blah. It's just like homophobic betrayal, like, and it's just in the line of the song, like first line of the song. So like, I don't know what you want from people. Oh. This is not an apology. None of this looks like an apology, you know. And I just want to say, this is the decline of Burna Boy, in my opinion. This is how he declined. And look at how that baby was like erased in just an instant. Attention is more valuable than money. Yes, you might have your billions and millions in your bank account, but somebody like Burna Boy thrives on attention, thrives his ego being stroked, you know. He tries on being number one this, number one that, the big three, the big four. Like, there's nothing like big four, there's big three. Olamide, Davido, and Wizkid. Cry about it. Cry about it. Those guys came on the edge, like on the turn of a new dawn, like in our world. So you came later. Baba, cry about it. This is the decline of Burna Boy. This is the decline of Burna Boy. And good luck to him. If he continues on this path, good luck to him. The agenda you're talking about is not real. You are the one pushing an, you're the one starting shit. You're the one causing problems for yourself. Nobody's doing agenda against you. In fact, you won a Grammy barely what, how many years into your global appearance on the global, your appearance on the global stage. You won a Grammy. How many people have won? Even the big three I mentioned, have they won any Grammy before? So which agenda are you talking about? What agenda are you talking about? Mr. Man, you need to take several seats. You're not making any sense. You laid your bed, so you lie on it. Okay, that's one of the most, that's one of the first idioms you learn when you're a child in this country. As you lay your bed, you lie on it. So you've laid your bed already with this attitude, with this pattern of behavior. So you lie on the bed you made. I don't think selling coffee in your concert is going to do anything, or bringing your dad that you disrespect to the highest on stage, hugging him. It's not going to do anything, Baba. This is what you did. Either you take accountability for it and get better, or you continue and let your hubris be your end. It's not hard. So that is it for me. That's my take. I wonder if anybody else feels the same way about this conversation, and I hope you subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you for the love on the other video. I hope to make more videos like this. Subscribe, leave comment, tell me what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, so bye. Sorry about the noise, like there's nothing I could do about it.